being born with a slightly different nose, I know the importance of having a good nose. And after becoming a rhinoplasty surgeon, I know the importance of having a nose which is perfect for your face. On the internet, you'll come across a lot of articles which say that the shape of your nose defines your personality. According to me, that's complete rubbish. But the shape of your nose does have a very important role to play in your individuality. And not only that, a very, very crucial role to play in facial aesthetics. People actually recognize you based on the shape of your nose. So is there one perfect nose? No, there isn't. Because every face has a different shape and size. Every nose has to be a different shape and size in order to fit that shape and size. So I can safely say that every face has a perfect nose, but there is no one single perfect nose for everybody. Let's see some different noses which we see around us on a daily basis. The first is a fleshy nose. Such a nose is broad at the bridge of the nose as well as the tip of the nose. Next one is an upturned nose, where the nose tip is slightly turned upwards. The third is a Roman nose. Now, the old Roman sculptures and statues showed that the noses of those statues had a certain similarity. That being that it was slightly curved at the top and thereafter it was straight. Such a nose came to be known as the Roman nose. The Greek nose. Similarly, the statues of the Greek statues showed that the nose was straight right from the top till the tip. Such a nose came to be known as the Greek nose or the straight nose. And trust me, some people are very lucky to have such a nose. The bumpy nose. Somewhere around the nasal bridge there is a slight bump somewhere. This comes to be known as a bumpy nose. The snub nose. Such a nose is stout and small, right from the tip to the nasal bridge. The hawk nose or the beak nose. This resembles the shape of a beak of the hawk. That is, it is curved from top to the tip. The Nubian nose. Nubian is an ancient African tribe, and so this feature is seen mostly in Africans, wherein their nostrils are slightly broader and their ala is slightly broader. The East Asian nose. Such a nose is seen in the East Asian, it is typical of East Asians. The bulbous nose. Now, such a nose is different from the fleshy nose which we saw right in the beginning, in that only the tip of the nose is slightly bulbous and bulky. The crooked nose. When seen from the front, it looks deviated to one direction. And most importantly, the combination nose. Such a nose is one of the most common things because not everyone can be slotted into one of these noses. So you will realize you will have a feature of one of all these noses, and that makes you a combination nose, which according to me is the most common type because you cannot be slotted per se. So which is the perfect nose which fits your face? Coming to the actual point of this video, you have to actually measure parts of your face to be able to realize what exactly your nose needs to look like to be perfect for your face. So before we do that, let us just see the structure of the nose. The outer part of the nose is made of the nasal bone here, the upper lateral cartilage and the lower lateral cartilage. This forms the external structure of the nose. There are certain terms I need you to know here. One is the intercanthal distance. That means the distance between the inner border of the right eye and the inner border of the left eye. The alar flare. Let me come closer and show you. This is the ala. That means this is the nostril, this is the ala. Okay. If I flare my nostrils, the distance between the two becomes the alar flare. And the point where the ala joins the face is known as the alar width, the distance between the two of them. This part here is the columella. Alright. Apart from that, there is a difference between nasal length and the tip projection. The distance from the point where the nose starts here till the tip is known as the length of the nose. And the tip projection is the distance between the point where the ala joins the face to the tip of the nose. So again, this is the length of the nose and the tip projection. Alright, now that we've got these things straight, let us start defining our perfect nose. So we can divide our face into three parts. The first part is from the hairline till the eyebrows. This should be equal to the distance between the eyebrows and the base of the nose. And this should be equal to the distance between the base of the nose to the chin. Okay. The lower 1/3 of the face can further be divided into an upper 1/3 and a lower 2/3. The upper 1/3 is the distance between the base of the nose and the angle which the two lips make with one another. And the lower 2/3 is made up of the distance between the angle of the two lips and the chin. Now, this is very important because the nose plays the most crucial role by lying right in the middle of this entire segment. The other part is, you can divide the nose into 5 parts with 6 imaginary lines. Okay, so the first distance between the ear and the outer border of the right eye should be equal to the distance between the outer and inner borders of the right eye, which is equal to the intercanthal distance, which is equal to the distance between the outer and inner border of the left eye, which is equal to the distance between the outer border of the left eye and the ear. Okay. Now, one very important thing to note in this diagram is that the intercanthal distance is the same as the distance of the alar flare. Okay. Radix and dorsum assessment. Now, what is a radix? The point here where the nose actually starts projecting is known as the radix. This radix should correspond to the upper border of the eye. Okay, this is perfect. If it is slightly higher up, it is called a high-lying radix, and if it is slightly lower, it is called a low-lying radix. Okay, tip aesthetics. Now, let us draw an imaginary line like this across the face, and another imaginary line starting from the point where the ala is joining the nose, joining the face, and the tip. Okay, the angle between these two lines, first of all, has got to be 105 degrees ideally in females and 100 degrees ideally in males. The angle between the upper lip and the columella here has got to be equal to the previous angle which we just spoke about. Now, the length of the nose has got to be 2/3 of the mid-face distance. Again, let me remind you, the mid-face distance is from the eyebrows to the base of the nose. So the length of the nose has to be 2/3 of this distance, and the tip projection, that means from the point where the ala joins the face to the tip, has got to be 2/3 of the distance of the length of the nose altogether. Okay, the ala nostril columella complex. So here we have 4 lines. The first line is going from the point where the ala joins the face to the tip. The second is going along the rim of the ala. The third is going along the lower border of the nostril, and the fourth one is along the columella. Now remember, all 4 of these lines have to be exactly parallel in a perfect nose. Also, the nostril dips at a certain point and starts an angle. That point should be 2/3 from behind to forward. It should be 2/3, and the point where it dips should be 1/3. Okay, and the angle at which it dips should be 45 degrees ideally. Remember this, all this is ideal, and this will show what kind of a nose is perfect for your face. Okay, finally a nostril analysis. The first line we spoke about, which goes from the point where the ala joins the face to the tip. This line actually bisects the nostril into 2 parts. The upper part is 2 millimeters and the lower part is 2 millimeters. If the upper part is anything more than 2 millimeters, then that is called an alar retraction. And if the lower part is anything more than 2 millimeters, it is called a hanging columella. Now, many a times even a combination of the two is seen. And if any of these 3 things is seen in the nose, when you look at it from the side, you will realize that the nostrils are slightly larger than what they are supposed to be. Finally, what I can say as a rhinoplasty surgeon to you is that every nose is unique, every nose is special for that individual. It is very important to respect the uniqueness of that nose.